Join me live on Twitter Spaces at 8 p.m. this September 16th for the launch of World Liberty Financial. We're embracing the future with crypto and leaving the slow and outdated big banks behind. I'm also announcing that as part of our additional tax cuts, we will end all taxes on overtime. You know what that means? Think of that. Think of that. Think of that. That gives people more of an incentive to work. It gives the companies it's a lot easier to get the people. And you know, I went to some economists, great ones, and I said, what do you think? They said, it would be unbelievable. You'll get a whole new workforce by doing that. No taxes on overtime. The people who work overtime are among the hardest working citizens in our country. And for too long, no one in Washington has been looking out for them. Those are the people. They really work. They're police officers, nurses, factory workers, construction workers, truck drivers, and machine operators. It's time for the working man and woman to finally catch a break, and that's what we're doing because this is a good one. And I think it's going to be great for the country. So that's why we will be saying that if you're an overtime worker when you're past 40 hours a week, think of that. Your overtime hours will be tax-free. Okay, good? You're going to have it, too.
Can you tell us about the meeting today?
Well, we're talking about energy, about this new industry called AI factories and artificial intelligence. And obviously, we're at the beginning of a new industrial revolution. And this industry is going to be producing intelligence. And what it takes is energy and, of course, a lot of great computer science and large computing systems that NVIDIA makes. And so we've got to make sure that everybody understands the needs coming, the opportunities of it, the challenges of it, and do it in the most efficient and scalable way we can.
Uber, Bitcoin, self-driving cars. Combine those three together, and you have the self-owning taxi. A car that is a corporation that owns itself, pays for the car lease, the car insurance, and the gasoline from the revenues it makes, giving passengers a ride, and there's not a single human involved in that matter.
Welcome to the Cryptoteacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And guys, make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. I forgot to upload the video yesterday. It'll be uploaded tonight. And I always used to tell you, wake your friends and family. But you guys know I've changed that. And the reason why? Because the fourth industrial revolution is not coming. The fourth industrial revolution is here. Make sure you're looking out for yourself. Get in that lab and make sure you get yourself prepared. If you can save a little, do whatever for your friends and family, do it yourself. We don't have time to wake them. And the first video should prove that, but this second video is definitely going to prove it. But we have Trump on Bitcoin and crypto, leaving the big old banks behind. And guys, we know that is definitely not true. These big banks and big corporations have been funding crypto from the beginning. Politicians are nothing but paid puppets to move the agenda. And we know the agenda is this digital economy. And we have Trump says no taxes on overtime. Why is that, guys? Because the machines are about to take over the work. You won't be getting 40 hours. And like I stated, guys, this is a plan. They're going to slowly move it in. They're going to let you get a little bit of money, but then they're going to slowly move it in. The same way they increased everyone's salaries. Then we saw inflation eat it right on up. We know the NWO caused a problem, wait for the reaction, and run in with the solution. And we have NVIDIA's CEO at the White House. And what does he say? There's a new industrial revolution coming. These AI factories. And we know that's the fourth industrial revolution, where the robots, algorithms, and drones take the economy over. pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And how long has a crypto teacher been telling you this? And that's the reason why this channel should have over 10 million subscribers. But you know I've been giving you the truth, nothing but the truth. Yes, the truth hurts, but it sets you free. But because I give you the truth, you hate me. But remember, guys, I'm just a watchman on the wall. And we have Wilbur Ross. Guys, Wilbur Ross has been laying out the truth. And this is how you know the NW has already moved over to the fourth industrial revolution. They're done with the legacy market. And we know Wilbur Ross was a bankruptcy specialist for the Rothschilds. But he stated that America would be going through a recession. But guys, we know we've already been in a recession. We're going to be going through a great depression. Remember, guys, this is a plan. There's going to be layoffs picking up from 25 to 28. So as workers drop off, we know AI is going to replace it. So the economy is not going to miss a beat. And that's the piece that people are not getting. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we have the running VP Vance going after Apple, saying they're using China's slave labor. And guys, we already know the two sides have been created. America and China are definitely going to collide. We already heard the drums are beating. But don't forget the bank funds both sides. And speaking of central banks, we already know they're going to be cutting rates going towards the end of the year. We always get some type of rally, but we get a dip first and then a rally going up towards the end of the year. But then, guys, we get the new administration that's going to come in. And that's when these layoffs are going to start picking up. We know the cuts that they have to make because America has been spoiled. But in order for us to be on a level playing field, there's going to be a lot of spending that they have to cut out. But remember, they already have that solution, and that's universal basic income. But they're going to wait for the people to beg for it. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And then we have the White House on energy. And remember, Bitcoin stayed the enemy about using all this energy. Now data centers come in, and it's not even a problem. And it's going to be using 100 times more energy than Bitcoin could ever use. But of course, the mainstream media controls the narrative. Their voice is the loudest. So they don't want the people to be using the grids or the towers. They want that to be for the machines, and they want the people to use the clean energy and the satellites. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
We talk a lot about the value of the dollar. Do you think it's too weak or too strong right now for the U.S. to really thrive economically?
Well, I think the U.S. is heading toward probably a very mild recessionary period. And that shouldn't be too surprising. It was artificially propped up by all the rate situations that had prevailed and all the cash that was pumped into the economy in the aftermath of COVID. I think they overdid that, and particularly they overdid it in the sense that that money didn't go into productive use. All of that money went into the hands of people who immediately spent it. So it increased demand by a lot, by trillions of dollars, but it didn't do anything to increase supply. So I believe that monetary phenomenon is really what caused the big inflation. And it's starting to wear off now as the monies get expended and they don't keep pumping new monies in. So I think between that and the fact that when the jobs were being recreated after COVID, somewhere between 30 and 40% of all the jobs being created were actually government-related jobs. They were healthcare, they were education, they were direct government service. So again, they weren't building the economy. They weren't creating supply of goods. And I think it's that series of factors that really caused the inflation.
wants access to American markets. If you want access to American markets, you can't use Chinese slave labor to produce your products. You've got to be able to use American workers, and that's the whole thrust of Donald Trump's economic
Apple's
policies.
an evil company?
Yeah, can we talk about big tech? Yeah,
let's talk about big
you
tech.
seem to have kind of
do I think it's to answer Becky's question, do I think Apple's an evil company? No. Do I think that sometimes they benefit from Chinese slave labor? Yeah, and that's pretty sick. And I think that a company that wants to benefit from American markets should also have to pay American workers a fair wage.
So you look at the market short term. What do you anticipate ahead of the election, just after the election?
I think the market is going to tread water for a little bit because of the election. They want to know who's going to like to be president of the United States. But when the interest rate cut comes, while it's anticipated, I think the market will go up a bit. But I think it's been anticipated, so it's probably built into the market somewhat.
Steve, David, let's talk about the markets right now. The last time you were here, I think you told us that you did not expect the Federal Reserve would lower interest rates before the election. It looks very much like they will next week.
Yes, I was wrong. I'm wrong a lot. I thought the Federal Reserve would say, look, we want to stay out of the election process. But now it's so overwhelmingly obvious that a Fed cut is coming that I was wrong, and I'm wrong a lot. I don't think the Fed in its 100-year history has ever telegraphed a Fed cut as much as they have. They've made it clear they're going to cut.
Is it because the economy is in such trouble at this point? What do you see from the companies that you all oversee?
I wouldn't say the economy is in trouble, but it's clear that the economy is slowing down a little bit, and it's also clear inflation is coming down. The most recent reports show inflation's down, so I think the Fed is correct in saying they should make a cut. The issue is just 25 or 50 basis points at the next meeting, and we don't know yet.
Big strain on the U.S. power grid, and the White House is tapping America's biggest AI players to discuss how to move forward. Meeting today with leaders from OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Microsoft, and even NVIDIA's Jensen Huang. Let's bring in Deirdre Bosa with more details in Tech Check. Deirdre?
Hey, Kelly. So we know the government moves slow and AI is moving faster than anyone anticipated. So big tech has already done a bunch of deals in the energy space while also racing to build more efficient chips. Now, Oracle making progress on a data center that will require over a gigawatt of electricity, or enough to power roughly 750,000 homes. Amazon earlier this year paid $650 million for a nuclear-powered data center in Pennsylvania. Microsoft has earmarked $10 billion to develop renewable energy capacity to help, again, power data centers. Alphabet and Meta, they're looking to solar farms. So big tech is essentially scouring the country for electricity supply, and the White House has certainly taken note. Our Megan Casella stopped NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang outside the meeting today. He acknowledged the huge amounts of energy that is needed to continue to develop AI, but he also talked about the solutions that AI could help pioneer. Have a listen.
Although artificial intelligence consumes a lot of energy to train, it also saves a lot of energy when you consume it. Because ultimately, it's not about training the model, it's about using the model. And whether it's in healthcare or climate technology or just running the power grid, artificial intelligence has the opportunity to really save a ton of energy. And so I think people are grappling with the scale of the opportunity ahead, and of course the scale of the challenges ahead. And so it's going to require public and private collaboration.
So that we the world is going to be short power. And to power these data companies, you cannot have just this intermittent power like wind and solar. You need dispatchable power because you can't turn off and on these data centers. And so it's a combination.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain. an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Sonali Basak. Sonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID 33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.